Rocquette Cider started when my family purchased this farm, and we were wondering what to do with the land, and we wanted to do something where we could create a product from start to finish, which is really exciting. And we've really enjoyed it. We wanted a job which would involve being outside and then working with people and creating a brand. We started by planting, I think it was 1,500 trees, and initially they were young and small, so for three years there wasn't much to do. But then they started to grow and produce apples. So the first challenge we had was how we were going to get tons of apples from the orchard. Initially we were picking by hand, but then we had to figure out a way to get the apples in a way that wasn't going to require a vast army of people. So we had to mechanize. I mean, our trees are planted on quite sloping ground. So the machinery that we could use is quite limited. We had to find pedestrian harvester and lightweight machinery that would cope with going up and down the valleys. So that was a big challenge to us. Guernsey has a really strong heritage of cider making, and to make good cider you need cider apples. Now there's three kinds of apples basically, and one's in between. So there's cider apples, cooking apples and eating apples. Cider apples are high in tannin. They can be sweet and sharp, and they tend to be quite hard, like this one. This is a Dabinet apple. This is primarily what we planted initially. It's great for making cider, and it's also great for handling with machinery because it is so tough. They tend to be quite small. You wouldn't eat it, it's dry. The tannins suck all the moisture out of your mouth. The other apple we grow is Bramleys. We grow a small amount of them because they're really good for the acidity of the cider. We're considered a small cider maker in the grand scheme of things, so we make a couple 100,000 litres a year, which is a lot of litres. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of litres. So we had to find ways, how to get tanks, where do you put all the litres, how are we going to filter it, process it, package it, that type of thing, and then reaching out to the pubs and the supermarkets to take our product. And we're lucky that the Guernsey public have been very receptive to the brand and buy all our stock every year. Harvest time is, I don't know, I've always got this feeling leading up to harvest, the harvest is coming and there's nothing you can do about it because it's coming. The apples are ripening, and a typical day is, it's normally a long day. We have to work with the weather, normally, whether we're going to be bringing in apples or pressing apples. So because we are so close, the press is literally just a couple 100 meters over that way. And the apples are all harvested and transported directly and pressed. So there'll be a number of jobs going on. We'll be either picking or pressing or shaking, and it depends on what stage we're at. So we've got a small team, Miguel and Sam, who work with me, great. They've been with me for a long time. They know the ropes. So there'll be somebody going off and doing one thing, somebody going off and doing another, and then we come together at the end of the day and kick it around and see what we're going to do the following day. The most rewarding thing, I would say, without a shadow of a doubt, is that sense of pride you get when you go to the pub and you sit there, you can order your own product, and then somebody next to you is ordering Rocquette cider as well. That is a very rewarding thing, knowing how far it's come and what you've had to do to get it there. It's really important to us as a local company to connect with the local population. We do it in a number of ways. We do it through our apple swap. In a year when we had not enough apples, we put an appeal out to people to bring us their surplus apples to blend into Rocquette cider. And the next year, we didn't need it so much, but as it happens, people still wanted to come to bring their apples. We've got to know them now. We meet them every year. We have a database of over 700 people that bring apples to us every year. It can be 30 to 40 ton of apples off the public. That's a great thing to do. It means that when the public go to the pub, they know that there's a small percentage of their apples in it. So they are buying into the brand in that way, which is great. And to have somebody else appreciate it and want your product that is the most satisfying thing for me.